What is happening, guys? Are you still with me?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, he's still with me. All right, it is your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack. Clearly, I'm not solo. I'm with my man, DFS Patriot. We got some Thursday night football to talk over. Feel like you crushed, or we crushed that Monday night slate, so I want to bring you back on here and talk this Thursday. Before we get into that and I ask you what's going on, got to shout out the show's promoters right now. I've been talking about it a lot. I don't know if you know about it, but hopefully you do. If you sign up for Jazz Sports, get a no-risk wager up to $1,000 back in bet. That's $1K back if you're wagering a loss. I know you dabble in sports betting, but you can't really beat that.
Yeah, no.
And then as far as loose lines goes, I don't know if you've checked that out, but I love it. You get really, really good lines and odds, a ton of reduced juice and other perks on there. You also get an additional 50% off when you sign up there. So check them out. I'm going to throw the links in the description of the video. That was long-winded, but what's up, my man? How are you?
Nah, I'm good, man. It's another week in NFL. Like you said, we crushed Monday in the prime time. I think we're hot right now, and when you're hot, you're hot. So let's keep that train rolling. Right into the next week.
I'm with you, man. This is going to be a good game tonight. Pittsburgh and Minnesota, two teams that I feel like need this dub. Yeah, I liked Pittsburgh a lot last week. I told you they came through for me on Sunday. I think I got you on Pittsburgh also, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I was fencing. I wanted to bet the game, and I was leaning towards the Ravens, and you were like, no, like take the Steelers and the points. I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah,
I
love
took
the
it.
Steelers. They came through late, got the money line win, and actually, I was on Detroit getting the points and money line against the Vikings last week. Bad loss for them. Looks like their season is teetering. They need a win. Pittsburgh needs a win. Before we dive into this slate, how do you think this game plays out?
I think it's gonna be a dogfight. This is actually one of the better Thursday night games that we've had in a long while. Usually it's those crap games. You have a game with a 3-point spread. Obviously, Minnesota's 3-point home favorites, which essentially means it's a pick'em game with a 44.5 over under. So I think it's a good game. Just from a game angle, and at the same time, I think it's gonna be a good game from a DFS angle. There's a lot of points to be had in a pretty target tunneled areas.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I do think Minnesota's the more talented team, but I think Pittsburgh's just like the better team altogether. Pittsburgh's obviously not as good as they've been in years past, but I still trust like Tomlin way more than I trust Zimmer. I expect this game to be close though, not only because the spread's close, but Minnesota basically only plays close games. You look at their whole schedule, like I'm gonna pull up Dalvin Cook. Just look at the games they've played. And this that's not even including last week against Detroit, when they lost on the last play, but 26-34, 34. Like, look at all these games. They're all like one-score games. Every game they play is a one-score game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for sure. They don't know how to blow a team out, and really they don't get blown out. So every game is usually within, 9 points or so.
They're a classic team, and I've said this for a while. They play to their competition. So I think they're talented. They can beat anyone in the league. They can lose to anyone in the league, though, also. Pittsburgh is kind of the same way, but I just trust them more. This is not a game I really have interest betting. But who do you think wins this game?
I think the Vikings win this game.
Why?
I think they're going to, again, we talk about playing to your competition, knowing the severity of the win, right? Both teams need a win, so both are going to go balls to the wall. And I just think I give them that slight edge at home. I think Pittsburgh will cover the 3. I don't feel comfortable betting that. But I think Minnesota wins like a 24-23 type game.
I got to say, from a DFS perspective, let me pull this up right here. I haven't even started screen sharing yet. Roethlisberger really stands out at 9K.
Yeah, he's cheap for who he is at that 9K price tag for sure.
I mean, as bad as he's been all year from a real life perspective, his fantasy numbers have been, not great, but not awful, and he's in a good spot here.
Right. I mean, I don't see any reason why you disagree with that. I mean, there's not many times where you get a quarterback that is at that price tag on a showdown slate as well. And Minnesota's defense is nothing.
Right? Like, it's not like it's rare. Like, Roethlisberger is not good anymore, but he's not like a complete trash can. If they give him time here, like, he's a classic. If he gets time, like he can make good throws. If he doesn't get any time, he's screwed. So Minnesota's D doesn't scare me at all. That's why, like, I know the sharp side of this game, I feel like is Minnesota, but man, I just could never bet Minnesota as a favorite here. I think Pittsburgh wins this game. I do. I think Minnesota sucks. Like they're talented, but like they're just not a overall good team. Like I said, they play to the level of that competition. So I like Roethlisberger in I think the captain spot. I mean, another day where I like Deontay Johnson a lot. And looking at the price tags, like he's the fourth most expensive on the slate. I don't know. I like the Steelers here more than I like the Vikings, even though I will say with Cook in, like, and Thielen out, the Vikings like target tree is pretty defined with Jefferson and Cook, like the two guys you want. I mean, that's just what it is.
Right, and I think you're going to see a lot of people flock to KJ Osborne as well.
Oh, agreed. I mean, Osborne at
5'6".
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, he's a look, but D.D. Westbrook could be a look. Yeah, Osborne's obviously the natural guy to step in.
Yeah, I mean, he just makes all the sense in that aspect just to step into that Thielen spot.
So, like, if you're making a lineup right now, who are you captaining?
Call me crazy.
I will.
I think I'm captaining Deontay Johnson.
I knew you were going to say that after he got there for you late. I mean, this dude was straight shitting on Deontay Johnson all afternoon. Texting me, Deontay sucks. I hate this guy. After he dropped that touchdown too, I was definitely thinking about you, and I knew it was coming after that. But he got there late, and that's what I'm saying. Ben and him have really good rapport. I love him always. Tonight's no different. I feel like he's a great captain choice, and I have no problem just throwing him in there. Then after that, who's your next priority?
I mean, I think you want to pair him with Ben in that situation at $9K. We already talked about that price tag too low for who he is, and that connection is clearly, right there.
Yeah, I think captaining Ben is wildly in play for me.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think you'll get that look, especially from a cash game aspect. I think a lot of people go that route for the sole reason of you're getting a captain quarterback, for less than his best receiver in this instance.
Yeah, you know who I like his cheap value?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Boswell. Like, he's a good kicker. Kicking in Pittsburgh is really hard, especially in weather. So, like, I like Boswell here at 3,800 is like the cheap piece. I don't know. Who do you prefer, him or Joseph?
I think I like Boswell as well better.
I think they're both in play.
They're both in play, but I think
together.
I think right. You definitely could. You could do a lot worse. I mean, Joseph is only 4K, and I see no issues with that whatsoever. I mean,
because do you want one of the Viking studs?
Yes.
So which one? You probably want Jefferson, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, you don't have to roster both kickers, so we'll take Joseph out. Now, who you like? Osborne?
Osborne, yeah. Yeah. So I'm kind of sucks because ideal world I wanted to somehow get to Freiermuth within that lineup. But this could be a spot where if I went Osborne and I went Freiermuth and Jefferson, that I could take a shot on a DD Westbrook.
Yeah, but also this is where, like, especially if you like Freiermuth, I mean, can you fit him if you captain Ben?
Oh, let me check.
Nope.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't do anything for you.
Right, so that makes it that much worse. So, I mean, I think, from this point, it's hard. I mean, I think, like I said, the value DD is the value. I think that, but, what's his face? McLeod played very well, I thought, or has been looking well. I heard his name a lot more. He didn't do much. But like, I just don't know. Like, there's no glaring value at that, that low price that you could say, like, all right, if he gets me one catch, he hits his value and we're straight.
I agree.
So I mean, if let me see. So, I mean, the options are not, with this construction, like you have 59. 59 gets you. I mean, it's no man's land.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, like, you know who I think is really sneaky on this slate in tournaments?
Who?
Addison.
Oh yeah, I mean, if Dalvin's back in, no one's gonna play Madison
because he's expensive. And honestly, like Dalvin is legit hurt, I think. I'm playing him in my year-long leagues. I think he's in play here. I think you could play both of them, like depending on how the game script goes. But like, especially because they're missing Thielen, like Madison's good. Like they will give him runs. So I just want to see, like, what if instead of Jefferson? See, here's where you could go. I know that you obviously prefer Jefferson over Madison, but there are game scripts for Madison gets there over Jefferson for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just think targets are going to be ridiculous.
I agree. I mean, and he is really good, so it's hard to get away from him here. But there aren't a lot of good value plays on this slate.
No, there's not. You're gonna have to if you want to kind of spend up on this instance, like we're talking about here. You're gonna have to take a chance on someone who's a lower end. It could get you straight up zero, but could get you. And I think that's where you come into play with like you said, like with Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be that guy for Minnesota tonight?
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to step up and make that change. So who's it going to be?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and do you trust KJ Osborne like as chalk? Because I'm not sure I do.
No, I mean, I don't trust him as chalk, but I don't know. I feel like in a cash game, you just play him and you take whatever lumps and bumps that he does or does not do.
Yeah, I have no arguments. I could definitely see like some random receivers from Minnesota. Like if I were playing a bunch of lineups here, depending on who is active, those guys I'd have exposure to.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I mean, Thielen is a target, is a guy that Cousins loves to target. So, you're taking that out of the offense. I know last week we saw Jefferson go nuts. I am worried, though, with Thielen out. Like, Pittsburgh is just going to – like, I feel like the fate of Jefferson in tournaments is real. Obviously, going in that, like, he's a freaking stud. He can go off in any game. But, like, I think Pittsburgh is going to – you got a hurt Cook. You got no Thielen. Like, what is Pittsburgh going to really zone in on? Freaking Justin Jefferson, who had 1,000 catches for 1,000 yards last week.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. I mean, there's a guy, what's his name? If you want to take a dart, Chinesa, who's been active. He's a receiver. He's been active for the past 4 or 5 weeks. Has no targets, no catches. But, again, is he a guy that could fill that role?
Maybe.
Low-owned. I don't know.
Why? Just saying that because he's white?
Yes. How did you know? No. because he's been active and, like, he has seen the field for a couple plays.
No, I'm 100% with you. I also feel like, depending on how you think this game script goes, like, using, like, going all Pittsburgh. Just trying to see. Because I also like Najee Harris, who we didn't talk about. Claypool, we didn't even talk about.
I was gonna bring him up. Yep.
Who, Claypool?
No, Najee Harris. I mean, you can't mirror the amount of times that kid touches the ball.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if I go with those three, and then I went Boswell, I didn't mean to do that. Boswell, Joseph. Now I got 85. So now he get Claypool, and you wouldn't even need. See, the thing is, I need someone from Minnesota, like, but I don't know. I also think Tyler Conklin's a little bit sneaky.
You know who I think is pretty sneaky too?
Who?
And it's just from my research on Showdown slates. Tight end 2s. Chris Herndon.
Yeah, I pulled him out earlier. He hasn't done anything though.
No, I know. That's the problem. But I'm like trying to think of different ways in a tournament that you could take something off.
Well, you can use
all. It's gonna be a guy.
You can use all the Chris Herndon.
Yes. No, I'm gonna use my white guy first.
Yeah.
Just
honestly, like Westbrook saw 2 targets last week. Thielen's out. I don't hate him.
Right.
He's not like crazy cheap, but
I mean, he's cheap enough where you can get like that for that lineup that I had with Deontay at captain, and then Ben and Justin Jefferson, and then I go
yes.
Westbrook and Osborne. So basically, get all the receivers for Minnesota. Just hope they pass every time.
Yeah, I agree with you. This game is interesting. I can see it playing out in so many different ways because, like, as much as I just talked to Pittsburgh, I could also see many scenarios. If this game plays out 100 times, I think 30 times, Big Ben is awful, and like Minnesota's defense is optimal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
and I feel like you could say the same thing about Pittsburgh's defense.
Right.
They looked good last week with T.J. Watt back.
Yeah, T.J. Watt was an animal last week.
Yeah, he overtook Myles Garrett for the sacks lead in like that 1 week. I didn't even think that was possible. Myles Garrett has so many sacks.
Yeah, I mean T.J. Watt is he's a different beast.
Well, not than Myles Garrett.
Yeah, taking nothing away from Myles Garrett, but
he is not a different beast from Myles Garrett.
No, I said not taking away from Myles Garrett. I'm saying he's a different beast. Like last week when he was just sacking, like he had blood in the water.
Who would you rather have, T.J. Watt or Myles Garrett?
Who's younger?
What?
Who's younger?
Let me see. T.J. Watt.
Look at my young buck Matthew Judon though, number 3.
T.J. Watt is 27. Myles Garrett is 25.
Yep. So the younger.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're both really freaking good. Is I think the point of it.
Yeah, exactly. Who can I get more years out of? Is how that works.
Exactly. Great point. Yeah, I mean, I think this game you got to really tell yourself a story. I haven't been saying that too much, but that's what it is tonight. Like, tell yourself a story of how this game plays out, and it's a showdown slate. And were you? I didn't. Were you mentioning McLeod earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had 4 targets last week.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like he got into it last week. I heard his name a lot for who he is.
Okay, well, worth noting for sure. I don't know. I got nothing else to add for this. It's obviously an interesting slate because a ton of guys are in play, I feel like. And it's really one where you got to tell yourself a story of how you think this game plays out.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think it's going to sound crazy, but, like, make sure you look at the inactives for the Vikings and, like, check the depth chart on who's wide receiver 3 because I think they could be a sneaky value.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. Yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else to add?
No, that's it. Enjoy the game. Obviously, we'll be back at it this weekend to break down another week of NFL. Hopefully, crush it again. I'm excited for it for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that too. Appreciate you coming on with me. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your Thursday.
Thanks, guys. See you later.